Pregame.com.
Casual Tuesday here, pregame.tv, discussing baseball. Yankees, Seattle. Bryan Leonard will be breaking this down in a second. I take a look at you two guys. I know it's summer in Vegas. It's 120 degrees in the studio, but it reminds me Fast Times Ridgemont High. No shoes, no shirt.
No service.
No dice. No dice. Bryan.
I yell at him all the time because he makes me look bad, but even he doesn't have a little hanky in his pocket.
I like it.
That's classy.
I like it.
Your wife put that in.
No, I didn't have time to rush home.
wife-
I actually even got scolded on the drive down for not bringing a suit.
My wife buys everything I wear except for the ill-fitting double-pocketed shirts, which she refuses to buy, that I have to
God
take
bless
with me because I got my system. I got my tickets in the right, and I got that I'm cashing, and the tickets in the left that I'm betting with.
I'm so cheap. I buy an outfit, and until I completely outgrow it, I wear it until it wears out.
Attaboy.
Well, the way your weight has been fluctuating, that's about
Telling you.
2 months.
I'm telling you.
Up and down.
Need to hit the gym. It's not a good timing with football coming up either.
With this heat, you'll be at 200 by September.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, be dead also.
Let's hope it's like that movie Thinner, where the guy touches a thinner and
That's
he drops
it.
3 pounds a day. You've seen that, right?
That's it.
Don't worry about it then.
But not that. Well, maybe it works. Yankees Kuroda against Oakland and Parker here. I'm going to play the Yankees in this game. Kuroda's been setting career highs in opponent batting average this year and in WHIP. He has a 2.66 ERA in day games, and opponents are hitting just 200 against him during the day this year. I didn't play the total here, but this is one of those games on the West Coast where we may have some shadows here also. So if you're looking to play a total here, that's a good time to play it because this is a little bit one of those betweener games. It's not an early game. It's not a late game. But it's going to be in the mid-afternoon here in Oakland. Parker started the year. He really struggled early on. Good young pitcher. There was talk about him possibly being injured early on in the season. He's come around lately. He's pitched a lot better as of late. A 2.66 ERA in day games, and opponents are, excuse me, I was reading the wrong guy. He's posted 6 quality starts in a row, but he has faced 5 struggling offenses in those games. So while his numbers are looking good, go back and take a look at the teams he went up against. He's played a lot of teams that are really struggling offensively right now. But his opponent batting average, a WHIP, or a high career rate right now. So it's just the opposite of Kuroda. Now, neither one of them has really been in the major leagues for that long, especially Parker. But his strikeout percentages are down and his walk percentages are up. So he's a guy right now, I think he's been getting a little bit lucky because he hasn't been facing the high-quality offenses. And the Yankees, now they're getting some of their stars back. The Yankees are playing well. But he has a 5.40 ERA at home and a 5.94 ERA in day games. I want to go against Parker in this game, so I'm going to take the Yankees.
You like the Yanks? Everyone was down on the Yanks coming into this season, and for good reason.
All the players forgot.
Exactly, with good reason. But with that said, this is an organization that's shown us they're willing to spend money to compete. They're going to be competitive, regardless. You know, they got guys to step in. For selfish reasons, I wanted to see them have a bad season this year, but I didn't think there was that much value on the unders. A lot of other professional bettors that I respect. I think they are playing above their heads right now, especially on the road. I mean, here's a team that's 18-13 on the road. I think they're playing a little above their heads, but in this spot, I agree with Bryan. I think the pitching matchup favors the Yankees. I think as far as Oakland also playing above their heads, if they weren't, then it's a different story. I'd say you'd probably get some value there. We most expected a regression from Oakland as well from last season. That hasn't happened. But I think as the season goes on, it will a little bit. So against teams like the Yankees, which are maybe not as elite as they were in years past, but still, here's a team that is only allowing 3.75 runs per game. Cincinnati Reds give up more than that, and they're in the National League in a pretty weak division. So that tells you a lot about this Yankees as far as defense goes, pitching goes, runs allowed goes. So as long as a team can do that and not allow a lot of runs, even with injuries, you're going to find games where you score enough runs to win. If you're giving up 4.5 runs, 4.7 runs in the American League, then you got to be able to score. But when you're only giving less than 4 runs a game, you could struggle a little bit and still get the job done. And that's what they've been doing. So I like the Yanks here. I agree with Brian.
You know, I have to say, just having bet pretty big on those Yankees under, and I did not bet your Toronto under 91, which is stone
That was,
nuts.
yeah.
And I got a toothache just thinking about that. But like every Yankee win, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, they look cheap every day to me. Like compared to, I'm like, I'm dead on this bet. It's like, how could they only be projected to win 89 games? Time to start betting them selectively. I will say one thing about the Yankees, because we did the Michael Moore and the movie references, you know, and Roger and me. It's like a VR, BL, and I don't know. But the one of the greatest sports movies ever made, of course, was The Bad News Bears, and the bad guys were the Yankees. And I love what the Yankee coach did in the championship game when he walks Kelly Leak with the bases loaded, and the Walter Matthau starts screaming at him, "Hey, it's Little League. This is baseball, not backgammon." So I digress. Let's make this official.
All right, we're going to play the Yankees here with Kuroda against Oakland with Parker. VR made some nice points in regard to Oakland here. And you take a look at Oakland earlier in the season, they were knocking the cover off the ball. A lot of guys were having career years offensively. Now they're starting to regress. They're not putting up as many runs, especially early in the game. They're only putting up about 2 runs a game in the first 5 innings, so they're falling behind in these games, and that's always a concern here. And when you got a pitcher that's given up a lot of runs at home, a lot of runs in day games, they could find themselves behind in the game, and they got to come up late against the Yankees bullpen. Back of the Yankees bullpen's pitching really well right now. Mariano last year, that's crazy. I mean, the guy could probably pitch another 2 or 3 more years. But as we go back to the wife's comment, his wife told him if he's going back this year, he's going back for 1 more year. So he's got to obey his wife, and we all do.
Of course, what are you going to do?
And we're smart to do that. So very good.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's right.
When mama's happy, everyone's happy.
Of course.
Know it. Learn it.
Live it.
Live it, Spicoli.
Live it.
All right, stick with us, pregame.tv. We are going to move from Major League Baseball to Game 4 in the NBA Finals. VR is sweating out Game 3. We're taping this, so right now the Miami Heat are getting their kicked by the San Antonio Spurs, and that's why VR looks agitated, and that's why
irritated.
He's sweating.
He's
sweating like that guy in the broadcast news movie.
I laid the 220. And I already had him.
205 at the win.
I already laid.
205 at the win.
Don't worry about the series.
Listen,
Miami's going to win.
I already laid minus 150. I told you before.
Sure.
I didn't have enough. I needed more.
Yeah, bet more, or win more. Sometimes bet more, lose more. Stay with us. We'll be talking about pregame.tv.